What makes a ghost in the wizarding world? Why do some souls remain as ghosts while most pass on? In short, becoming a ghost is a choice. A rare, unusual choice made by witches or wizards who, at the moment of death, cannot bear to move on. Albus Dumbledore wisely noted that only those who are afraid of death remain as ghosts. And indeed, fear of death is the common thread that connects many Hogwarts ghosts. Sir Nicholas admitted as much. He feared death's unknown and clung to the safety of familiar halls. But fear isn't the only factor. In some cases, it's an overwhelming sense of unfinished business or guilt that tethers a soul to life. As Nearly Headless Nick explained to Harry, a wizard can leave a mere imprint of themselves behind, a pale shadow of their living self walking where they once walked. Very few wizards would ever choose such a half-life. It is, after all, an unnatural state. Ghosts are not truly alive, yet they are not completely gone. They are caught in between, neither here nor there. They linger as echoes, often of the very moment or emotion that defined their end. The Bloody Baron remains in chains of remorse for his terrible deed. Helena stays bound to the place of her betrayal and loss. Nick feared the next great adventure, so he haunts the scenes of his happier days. And Moaning Myrtle, the young girl killed by a basilisk, came back not because she feared death, but because she couldn't let go of her grievance. She returned expressly to haunt the school bully who tormented her in life. Each ghost is an individual case, but none of them died in peace. In the wizarding world, those who accept death move on. That's why we do not see the ghost of James or Lily Potter wandering Godric's Hollow, nor a pearly white Sirius Black drifting through the Ministry's halls. Harry was so desperate to see Sirius again that he asked Nick if Sirius might come back as a ghost. Nick, with gentle sadness, had to tell him no, Sirius would not return. Sirius did not fear death, so he would have gone on, far beyond the veil. The same is true of brave souls like Albus Dumbledore, or Remus Lupin, and Nymphadora Tonks. They met death with purpose or acceptance, and thus their spirits did not cling to the earth. Ghosts are the exception, not the rule. This is why the halls of Hogwarts aren't overflowing with every person who ever died there. Only a select few remain, the ones who, for their own deeply personal reasons, felt unable to step into whatever comes after life. It's a bittersweet existence. Nearly Headless Nick once described being a ghost as knowing nothing of the secrets of death, having chosen feeble imitation of life instead. The ghosts we see are essentially spirits who have refused to let go of the mortal world, and that refusal often ties back to fear, regret, or an insatiable longing. There is a sadness to it, even when the ghosts are friendly and helpful. They stand as reminders that death is a part of life, and that avoiding it comes at a cost. And yet there is also something oddly comforting about their presence. For Hogwarts students, seeing these familiar ghosts year after year is a reassurance that history is alive around them, and that those who came before leave lessons and warnings behind. In the ghosts, the past literally walks beside the present. Perhaps it's no coincidence that so many ghosts make their home at Hogwarts. The castle is ancient and brimming with old magic. Its walls have witnessed triumph and tragedy beyond ordinary measure. If any place could anchor restless spirits, it would be this hallowed school. One might even speculate that Hogwarts itself encourages its ghosts to stay, in a way. The castle has always been a sanctuary for magical folk. Maybe it extends that protection to certain souls, giving them a place where they can exist in relative peace. Some have wondered if the castle's magic nourishes these spirits, or if the very atmosphere of learning and youth gives the ghosts a continued sense of purpose. It's an eerie thought, but an oddly poetic one, that Hogwarts protects its own, even after death. Of course, this idea is not confirmed canon, more a fanciful notion shared in hushed tones by students gazing up at the enchanted night sky of the Great Hall. What we do know is that the castle and its ghosts seem intertwined. The ghosts belong here. Hogwarts would feel empty without Nearly Headless Nick's cheerful greetings, the Grey Lady's silent guidance in the library, the Fat Friar's hearty wave in the corridors, or even Peeves' cackling from the rafters. In many ways, these spirits are as much a part of Hogwarts as the moving staircases and the house banners. They embody the school's memory, each ghost a fragment of its rich, complicated history lingering on. In the end, the ghosts of Hogwarts are far more than spooky decorations drifting through the background. They are the remnants of human stories, of loves and ambitions, mistakes and sorrows, preserved in ethereal form. Each ghost we've met represents a deeply emotional tale, a fear that kept a wizard from moving on, a guilt that chained a soul to the site of a crime, a loyalty or love that held someone back from the door of death. Their presence in the castle is a constant reminder to the living. Nearly Headless Nick gently warns us about the cost of fearing death too much. The Bloody Baron embodies the torment of a conscience that can't forgive itself. The Grey Lady shows the weight of unspoken regrets and the long shadow of betrayal. The Fat Friar teaches us about grace and optimism in the face of injustice, and Peeves? Well, Peeves proves that even in a world of rules and lessons, mischief will always find a way. These spectral figures aren't just there to give Hogwarts its magical atmosphere, though they certainly do that. They're there to tell us something. In their translucent faces and often bittersweet smiles, they remind us that life and death are two sides of a coin, and that the manner in which we face our end can echo on long after we are gone. Hogwarts would not be Hogwarts without its ghosts. They link the past to the present, teaching new generations of witches and wizards to respect what came before, and to ponder what lies beyond. After all, at Hogwarts, death is not always goodbye.